these beautiful flowers. This tree has some beautiful blossoms. Did you know that these are flowers? These over here, these are flowers too. I know, it's so odd. They don't look like flowers, they're green. They're a little boring. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about flowers. What are flowers for? Oh, are they for looking beautiful? In fact, they are. I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them are made for looking beautiful. And that's why they are so beautiful, and we love them all so much. Let's take a closer look. Flowers aren't just beautiful to our eyes, they're beautiful to the eyes of their pollinators. Well, many of them are. Depending on how things get pollinated and what bug or animal is coming to see them, or if they carry their pollen through the wind, they'll look different based on that. These flowers are very beautiful because they're attracting the eyes of bees or butterflies or all kinds of things. There's important things to look at in the flower. There's the stamen. That's that thing that's covered in pollen, those yellowy bits. The stamen holds the sperm of the flower. And in the center of the flower, if you look at those stamens that are more dried up in there, there's the ovaries of the flower. When the pollen gets put into the ovules, it creates the baby flowers, or the seeds. And this is how we make more of the plant. This is a fruiting tree, so it'll grow fruit out of the center of the flower, where the ovules are. Do you see those ovules? Ooh. That will create a fruit, and inside the fruit will be a seed. This tree might rely on a bird or another animal to spread its seeds for it, so it makes a nice sweet fruit to spread those seeds. So flowers are beautiful to us, but they're beautiful for a reason. Let's look at some flowers that might be a little less beautiful to you. Grass might give you a lot of allergies, especially when it's pollinated. But these flowers serve a purpose. And to me, they're still beautiful because nature's got a really beautiful way about it. These grasses, they have these flowers going up to the tip. Now, they don't need to be colorful because they're not trying to attract anyone. These flowers spread their pollen and receive their pollen through the wind. So all they need to do is sway up top very high. Where some flowers protect their stamen and where the pollen sits, these flowers want to be taken by the wind. So there's no protection around them. Some flowers attract their pollinators with smell. So some flowers, like this beautiful lilac, smell delicious. They smell delicious to us, and they smell delicious to their pollinators. How lucky are we? They've got all these tiny little flowers, and their nectar is deep down inside. I wonder if butterflies come here so they can put their little tongue deep into the flowers. Some flowers with their nectar deep, deep inside are pollinated by butterflies. I wonder what pollinates the lilac bush. If you have a lilac bush in your yard, you should go outside and watch it and see if anything comes along. I wonder if it would have a long tongue. Do you see this pollinator? There's a little beetle in here. But I've seen other pollinators on this tree before. I've actually seen a hummingbird playing here. Look at that beetle, doing its job. Flowers that are pollinated by beetles or birds, bigger animals, are often a lot sturdier. They'll have a thicker petal so that they can support the weight of the beetle. That's a pretty little beetle though. Are there any beetles in your garden? I wonder if this tree knows how lucky it is to have hummingbirds playing around it. It's so beautiful when they come by. I can see the stamens have had a lot of their pollen taken off them already. Those black dots at the ends, that's barely any pollen. The petals will probably fall off soon, assuming that the ovules have gotten some pollen on them. They'll start to turn into fruits. This is an Asian pear tree. Some flowers need other plants to pollinate with. Apple trees, for example, they need a second apple tree. They can't pollinate from their own tree. But an Asian pear tree can be pollinated all by itself. You only need one. So if that beetle lands on those stamens, goes to another flower, and takes the pollen to an ovule, then it will create an Asian pear. And inside the Asian pear are seeds. What a beautiful tree. In the greenhouse, we've got lots of plants. But these plants don't have flowers yet. These look like they might be squash. Actually, they're cucumber, a type of squash. I knew it. And down here, it looks like we've got some tomato plants. Cherry tomatoes, it looks like. Those will have flowers before their tomatoes grow, but they're not old enough yet. Wow, so many plants that have flowers coming on their way. We're so lucky to have so many months full of different flowers. The amazing thing about squash is you can eat their fruit, but you can also eat their flowers. I bet you guys can name some other plants that have edible flowers. I bet some of you have grown them in your gardens. There's so much opportunity to explore the pollinators and the flowers in your garden. I bet you have some flowers growing in your yard. Go check them out. How are they making babies? Do you see the stamen? Do you see the ovules where the pollen has to go down to? What creatures are pollinating your plants? Just like any animal, plants also need to reproduce. And they have ways that are very similar to us, actually. Next time you look inside of a flower, think about that. Think about how it needs many plants need different plants to work together to build seeds. Some plants, they can do it all by themselves, but lots of them need some information from more than one plant. I see some creatures flying around these flowers even, going up inside them from below. What a beautiful experience it is to have a garden. I hope you guys enjoyed this talk. Thanks for joining me on the farm today. Can't wait to see you again. And remember, the lilacs are out, so find some and take a nice big smell. That is my favorite flower. Bye.